Howdy, howdy. How we doing tonight, folks? I hope everybody is having a productive, or at least a reasonably okay Thursday out there. 8 months already? Oh my god. Oh my god, Desert Owl. She doesn't seem like... Yeah, it's amazing. Sometimes it's amazing just how fast the numbers tick up. And yeah, I'm putting in some extra effort to maintain that, by the way. I feel bad complaining. I feel bad complaining about the heat when other people have it so much worse right now. And we're breaking 3 digits like every now and then, but man, the heat up here, and it's like, yeah, it's dry, which is great, but we also have like no atmosphere between us and the sun. So on a hot summer day, it's kind of like, well, it's just you and me. Here we go. Just cooking my brains right out of my damn head. 108 to... Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, 108, and where you are, it's humid, too. So, yeah. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain about the heat, but it has been hot. Thank you so much for the resub. Thank you for your support, Desert Owl. It is wonderful to see you. Well, I live very close to what is commonly known as the Mile High City, which could give you an idea. Dragon Prenner, how you doing today, man? Living the dream, whatever the dream may be. As long as it's not one of those terrible dreams where I'm like back in high school, or one of those awful ones where I wake up and I'm like, it's like the 3rd day of basic training, and I'm like, oh no, none of the last 10 years of my life was real. Oh god. Those are the worst. Oh my, wait, hold on, it's been more than that. Oh no. Oh, getting old is terrible when I realize I start having to add 5s and 10s onto those numbers. Ugh. Ugh. Not human. Okay, I guess I was mistaken about where you guys were located then, Cookie Mama. For some reason, I thought that you were in a particularly humid area. And curing resin prints outside in an hour. Ooh, getting that UV. That is the nice thing about UV curable resin, is you can just use the natural power of the sun, give it some of that vitamin C, get it nice and cured. Only 85 there. Oh, I could go for that. I could go for that. We're up around 100 like all this week. Next week it's supposed to be a little bit better, down back around 90. August is gonna be... who the fuck knows? Who the hell even knows? And it's been lasting longer into the year, too, the heat has. It's like fall doesn't come until what would normally be wintertime. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking much, much further south. I don't know why. I don't know. I went over a lot of addresses recently. They all get jumbled in my head. I'm lucky if I can remember my own birthday. Half the time. Well, welcome in, folks. It's good to see you. Dragon Printer, Data Nerd, Desert Owl, Cookie Mama. Kursala, of course. We're gonna get to some oil painting here in just a minute. Let me finish my tea. I think we should be able to polish this off today. I'm pretty happy with where the red is. We just got some detailing to go. Work a bit on the cockpits, get them slapped onto some bases, take a few photos, and move on to the next project. This year, it's been this year for me, for painting. I'm really glad that I've had the stream, because those of you who've been with me for a little while, you've seen much more motivated, much more productive periods in my artsing and my fartsing, if you will. And this year, it has just been really, really hard to keep it up. I think without the stream, I might have stopped entirely. So, I guess it's doing its job, since that is my explicitly stated goal in streaming my work, is to keep going. It comes and goes in cycles like that, though. Woof, Wily Cliff. Woof. Ever paint a color for so long you're completely tired of painting the color, but like the way the color looks? That's where I'm at with the color I've been painting on walls lately. Yeah, I can see that. Particularly for something like house painting. You just never want to look at it again. The irony being you're going to look at it quite a lot, because you just put it on the wall. Roland is alive, and we are glad for it. Oh, I've been going down an interesting rabbit hole lately. Calling it interesting is probably really, really overstating things. The more I think about it, I'm like, it's probably not technically accurate. Interesting to me, interesting within the context of existing inside of my skull. I suppose. Crossbow Roof, thank you so much for the resub, hitting that big 1-5. Crossbow Roof, it's good to see you and a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Thank all you guys. Thank all of you for your support, for making the stream as just downright pleasant as it is. For me to sit down and have my tea and get a little work done and catch up on what people are doing. But yeah, I recently started watching a YouTuber who some of you may know, Josh Strife Hayes. I had never heard of him before. He's also a Twitch streamer. I haven't really watched any of his Twitch content. He's got a lot of content. I'm like, I just said, like, clearly this is what he does. Some of it's like YouTube drama shit, and like, but he does a series called Was It Good, where he goes back and does a pretty thorough playthrough of some older video games that a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for, and just sort of asks, like, so are you remembering things incorrectly, or is this game actually good? And, I think I got onto it because I got onto a little bit of a Silent Hill kick. If I'm tracing this back to its root, I'm not really sure how I got onto a Silent Hill kick, but he had a Was It Good for Silent Hill. I was like, I kind of want to watch this, because it's been a long time since I played Silent Hill 1. I can remember where I was living, I can remember who I was friends with. These are people that I don't even know anymore. And so I watched it, and I'm like, this is a good video. And, you know, as you do on YouTube, you're like, let's see what else this guy makes. And that led me on to a series he makes called The Worst MMO Ever, which is, he just finds, like, free-to-play and obviously terrible MMORPGs and plays them and goes over exactly why they're terrible. And they're fairly amusing videos. And that's actually how I discovered that Fallen Earth had come back and is getting a reboot, which is actually very exciting for me, because Fallen Earth is one of the few MMOs that I really stuck with for a long time. Well, that's not strictly true. I would say that I enjoyed enough to stick with after I got out of MMOs, because I've been playing MMORPGs since EverQuest 1. I played most of the MMORPGs as they came out. I played EverQuest 1, I got into Dark Age of Camelot, I played a couple of them whose names I can no longer remember. There was one I was looking for the other day where it's like, I can remember the environments, I can remember the gameplay, I remember that it was sci-fi based, I can't remember for the life of me what it was called, and now I can't find it. It was not Perfect World. I played Anarchy Online, crap, what didn't I play? Obviously I played World of Warcraft when that first came out. I played World of Warcraft through Burning Crusade, then I got back in again with Wrath of the Lich King. I'm trying to think of ones that I played, like, significantly. I played a little bit of Meridian 59. I never really got into Meridian too much, but I remember it. Ultima Online, Fallen Earth, obviously, though again, that was more recent. Lord of the Rings Online, yes, I've played a significant amount of Lord of the Rings Online. I played City of Heroes, yes, I did. I played City of Heroes and, what was the generic one called? No, City of Heroes is the generic one. I'm sorry, I played City of Heroes and DC Universe Online. That's what I was trying to say. Shadowbane? That one doesn't sound familiar. Anarchy Online, yes. This isn't really just me I mean, it is me listing the MMOs I played, but I'm leading into making a point here. Lord of the Rings Online, I was captain. Yeah, because I liked all the party buffs. That one I played fairly recently. I still go back to Lord of the Rings Online periodically just because it's like... It does the lore of Lord of the Rings less dirty than most of the movies do. Like, it's pretty good. It has a lot of really, really good single-player accessible content. Star Wars The Old Republic. I've played a bunch that have just completely disappeared. I played the Repopulation. I think I played some of Entropia. I played The Matrix online when that was a thing, briefly. What's on my shirt today? Oh, this is my Andromeda Space Ramen t-shirt. It's adorable. Also, it makes me want, like, good ramen, but I don't have access to any of it right now. The point is, I've played literally more MMOs than I can remember. Atlantica Online, I don't think so. That doesn't sound familiar. There's one sci-fi MMO I played a long time ago where it's been driving me crazy. I can see it in my head. I can remember the gameplay. I can remember the weapons. I can remember the environments. I cannot remember the name of it. And starting to describe it, I feel like would be a... Damn, why is that multi-stream still popping up? That's not supposed to be there. I turned that off. You bot... Hang on, let me check the commands. Yeah, okay. There it is. And it's turned off. Why is it still repeating then? I played WildStar. Yeah. WildStar. In fact, I was looking for WildStar as part of this, and they shut down fairly recently. WildStar is no longer a thing. The servers went down, well, I guess not, it must have been at least a year ago. But I guess some people are looking at opening up some WildStar private servers. The Elder Scrolls Online, EverQuest 2... For all these MMOs, I cannot figure out how to get my bot to stop spamming that we're multi-streaming. We're not multi-streaming. Ignore the bot. Pretend the bot's insane, because it is. Oh, that's a terrible feeling, Wiley Cliff. Warwolf, thank you so much for your Prime sub. Getting some of them Bezos bucks. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for just being here, man. It's good to have you. So I played. Hang on, I'm thinking of more as I start to move on. I played Rift. Rift was actually really good when it started. I played Star Wars Galaxies. A common theme is that most of these MMOs were like really good when they started, and then the longer they went on, kind of the shittier they got until they were just not worth playing like at all. Defiance. I played Defiance when that first came out. I played some of Defiance 2050, I think was the redux that they did for that. That was good. We're not riots. I literally can't get the bot to stop saying that. And it's frustrating me, actively. Hello, Riot Sister. I did say Dark Age of Camelot. Yeah, I played that way back in the day. That was a good time. I got into Worm Online very briefly. And then I decided I didn't hate myself that much. But I haven't, like, played an MMO, like, regularly for years at this point. I had gotten out of Fallen Earth before the servers went down, and the only reason that I'm even, like, thinking about MMOs right now is because they brought up Fallen Earth Classic. And again, that was started by browsing Josh Strife Hayes' channel. And, he plays so many MMOs. It's fucking ridiculous. But watching his channel got me thinking, like, I'll try some MMOs again. Jump on Steam, see what's free to play. Check out, everything is free to play with the cash shop now. It's hard to find any that you just pay for and play. And I don't think I can do MMOs anymore. This is what I'm leading into talking about. I did play RuneScape, absolutely. I played a lot of RuneScape, but then you could play RuneScape on the computers that were at my school. So that explains that. I don't think I can do it anymore. Ain't nobody got time for that. It's not even just not having the time. Like, I could make the time. I could carve out a couple hours every few days if I really wanted to do it. But I laid into some old MMOs that I used to play. I downloaded a few that I hadn't tried yet. And it's like my brain just doesn't react the same way to them that it did. I have these memories, these very clear memories of really enjoying the MMO loop. And, that's part of the problem too, Chief Balls, which I just love saying that name. They've all, in the golden age of them, if you'll allow me to be nostalgic for a moment, back when I played them, they were experimental. New ones would come out that were trying genuinely new things. Not everything was exactly the same. Some were similar. Some systems just work, obviously, and all games are going to adopt those systems. But they were generally trying to be something different, and some would succeed, and some would fail, and some would have good communities, and they're all the same fucking game now. And they're all that free-to-play, routed to the cash shop nonsense. And it's just... I feel like I'm playing a mobile game every time I try. I've been able to enjoy for the last few days, for a couple hours at a time, in between doing other stuff. I remember Tabula Rasa. Tabula Rasa! Was that from Richard Garriott? Did Richard Garriott do Tabula Rasa, or am I thinking of another one? Alara Kerensky, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for your resub. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Dude, where's my mech? Where's your mech, dude? What's it say on the back of my mech? Dude! What does mine say? Sweet! Oh no, this is a terrible lead-in. Let's not journey quite that far back. That was Richard Garriott? Yeah, that man lost his fucking mind. At a certain point, he was selling vials of his own blood on eBay. I've met Richard Garriott, and he seems like a perfectly nice fellow, but I think he's completely lost up his own ass. The Lord British is not to be reached by mere mortals like us any longer. City of Heroes was great fun, but I can't have fun with them anymore. None of them have that enjoyable early gameplay. It's all the gameplay I've noticed in MMOs these days is about rushing you through those first few levels. It's about pushing you through as quickly as it can, upping your power level, giving you little tastes of premium content that you can buy, putting annoying walls in the way of your gameplay so that you're encouraged to buy premium currency, and it's just if your game was fun, I'd give you $15 a month. I've done that countless times. That's the universe I come from. That is where I started with MMOs. I paid for EverQuest, paid for Dark Age of Camelot. I used to subscribe to Anarchy Online. Just one after the other. Greybeard Ray, greetings to you too, my friend. Ashen Empires. That sounds familiar, but I don't think I ever played that one. Used to enjoy some MMOs. They seem to just be railroads to endgame and max level. Exactly. I used to really enjoy... I'll be the first to admit, I was a major alcoholic. I've never been particularly sold on MMO endgame content. I don't like... I remember the time that I loathed WoW the most was when I really got to the high-level content, and I realized one day that I had just gotten myself a new job. It was you have to do these raids every day. You have to queue up. You have to be part of a guild. You have to do these dailies. You have to grind this. You have to. And these days it's so much worse with things like rewarding you for daily logins and giving you the fear of missing out if you miss a day and you get reset back to your daily login bonus. I just... What has it become? What has it become? It's like all those dweebs on Diablo 2 back in the day. Rush me, yeah. And, man, Diablo 2, there's a blast from the past, too. I played so much Diablo 2. But by the time Diablo 3 happened, I was really kind of starting to get out of Blizzard. So, well, Blizzard was changing significantly by the time Diablo 3 happened, and now we're balls deep in the Diablo Immortal debacle. Yeah, don't you people have phones? Diablo Immortal, or as it should be called, Diablo Immoral. It's so fucking predatory. And I feel bad playing, like, even if some of those games are kind of fun to just play, even if I enjoy the gameplay, I'm reminded of how predatory the cash shops are, and I think about the people who... You think about the stories of people, like, running their credit cards up to tens of thousands of dollars on microtransactions, and kids stealing their parents' payment information, and it's all just so... It's all just so sad. And terrible, and slimy, and I feel like... I feel dirty participating in it, even if I'm not buying from them, you know? And this has been my experience over the last couple of days, mostly last night, as I really tried to be like, I want to find a new MMO that I'm into, something that I enjoy. Something out there has to cater to me. Fucking nothing does. And everything is anime themed now, which there's nothing strictly wrong with that, but just everything is anime themed now. I'm not really into Final Fantasy XIV. I'm not really into Lost Ark. I looked at Black Desert and I was like, what the fuck is this? Oh my god. What's just what in the hell? When half your character creation is grab booba, make booba bigger, like, what am I playing exactly? Yeah, that seems to be it. And the combat system was... Just everything was a one-hit kill, and I didn't understand what was happening in the story, and I was just like, let's just not play that. Let's avoid that. Path of Exile, I enjoy Path of Exile still. Path of Exile is a kind of a light in dark places for me. I've heard good things about Final Fantasy XIV. I just don't get that into the super high fantasy anime aesthetic. It just doesn't really do anything for me. And that's entirely a personal aesthetic choice. Strike you as a Genshin kind of guy. I've seen people play Genshin Impact. No. 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 Crimson Desert, is that like something else to do with Black Desert? Age of Conan. I think I tried Age of Conan briefly. I don't know what exactly I disliked about it, but it didn't hold on to me. Been playing Tiberian Sun again lately. Yeah, see, that's my problem right now with video gaming, is every time I try to, like, do something new or branch out, I just fall back to playing something that made me feel good when I was, like, 14. And then there I am playing Tiberian Sun again. Fun fact, Project Dark Fox, the other day on stream, I was talking about a show called Moonhaven that is on AMC+, which I recommend. The season hasn't actually completed yet, maybe it goes completely insane by the end of it, but the first 3 episodes have been quite good. But that is made, the showrunner for that is a guy named David Acko, I want to say. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? He's never done anything. He's like attached to some projects here and there, and I was going back through his filmography. He was the screenwriter for Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun. I would assume one of the screenwriters, but he has listed on his filmography screenwriter for Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun. So I'm like, he was like writing the FMVs that then Michael Bain and Joe Kukin were acting out, and that just tickled me so much. I'm like, what a random connection that I would find your show all these years later and be like, hey, I like this guy. He's okay. Yeah, yeah. No decent anime since Captain Harlock. Greybeard, there really has been. The anime is a huge, like, it's not even a genre. It's a medium. And within that medium, there are many genres, and then in those genres, there are many, many talented artists. And there are good anime out there that are being made all the time. You have to hunt for them because, unfortunately, most of the popular ones are garbage. 90% of everything is terrible, though. 90% of everything is terrible. Just across the board. Isn't Mary Brandybuck in that? Yes, Dominic Monaghan, Riot's sister. And Joe Mangajijo, or whatever the fuck his name is, that big handsome guy who's like he's like Khal Drogo but a better actor. Everybody seems to like him because he's like 6'4". I like him though. I mean, you know, I don't like him because he's 6'4" and hunky. He's a decent actor, and he's 6'4" and hunky. Oily robot harem indeed. Yeah, I'm gonna finish my tea. We're gonna go ahead and keep on with that. I know, but I'm a grognard. Graybeard Ray, as long as you recognize it. As long as you're okay with it, you're comfortable with it, you acknowledge it, there's nothing wrong with it. Henry Cavill supposedly sitting on Pamela at Comic-Con for Black Adam. I'd love if they got him into the movie. I would. Yeah, because it's like that old Monaghan style spelling. Monaghan. People give that show a lot of shit because they're like space hippies, but I really enjoy the whole concept of it. It's a little silly at times. I think the worst decision they made in Moonhaven is having the moon folk have some of their own words for things. They're like, oh, I felt the heart dark, and that means, like, I had a bad feeling inside. And it's like, you could just say you had a bad feeling. You don't have to pretend like, eh. They're trying to get across that it's been 3 generations of people growing up on the moon separate from people on the Earth, but it's like, and they do that in shows a lot. They did it in the 100, obviously they did it in The Expanse, but you don't have to do it in every single sci-fi show, guys. It's a little overplayed. Automat, it's actually really pretty interesting, because the idea behind it is that this society on the moon is it's seeded by an artificial intelligence that has generated a utopia on the moon where these people then grow up independent of people on the Earth because the Earth is running out of clean air, water, food, so on and so forth. And the idea is very specifically to create a new culture. Because the theory is that they can, on the moon, they can generate the technology that we need to save the Earth and to save ourselves, yes. But, as they say, technology without culture is meaningless. And the idea is that if you were to just give us the technology, if we just had the tech on Earth all of a sudden, it wouldn't really fix our problems. We would find a way to run around in a big circle and wind up right where we are all over again. The goal of the project is a huge initiative to, over a period of time, fix not just water and food and air, but war and violence and our disconnect from one another to create a new human culture of people that feel their emotions more completely, are more in touch with each other. And it admittedly comes across as a bunch of like space hippie yoga freaks. But the idea is really interesting to me. It reminds me of something that like Ursula Le Guin might have written. It's kind of far out. Yeah, they're both DC, Riot Sister. Recently watched a really awesome sci-fi anime called Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Really awesome story. I don't think I've heard of that one, M. Fontana. Been a grognard for over 40 years. Yeah, I'd say you're pretty comfortable with it then, huh? Yeah, Alaric. Expanse. Here's the thing. The Expanse is so good, it's one of those where it's like kind of hard, like it's not entirely fair to compare every new show to it. Comparing every new show to like your top 0.5% of shows is not strictly fair. The Expanse was good right out of the gate. Billy Boyd was trying to hype up Moonhaven at Fan Expo but kept missaying the name. Yeah, Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan have, like, a real-world friendship that's pretty interesting. Looks like more of the usual humans are trash and only space Marxism can save us. I mean, you say that's infected science fiction, Roland? Let's be honest. That has been in science fiction since the 1960s. It's a very, very old hat concept, and in fact, that's what the show reminds me of, is sci-fi from the 60s and 70s. The one thing it isn't is Star Wars pew pew kaboom, and I think that turns a lot of people off. I enjoy Moonhaven myself. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect show. Name me a perfect show. Firefly. Fuck. Damn it. I ruined that one. Do they really? I did not know that. The Friendship Onion? It's Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan? Is that really a thing? Is that something you could link me on Discord? Because I don't watch that many podcasts, but I would love to listen to Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan. They both have fantastic voices, first of all, and they play off each other really, really well. Hey, Hamburg, it's good to see you. Alaric, you dislike everything. Oh, hang on, everybody. Hang on. We have breaking news. Alaric Kerensky doesn't like a thing. Alaric thinks he could do it better than somebody. More at 11. I'm fucking with you. Whoa. Kursala. Bro. Dude. I'm a pretty hot take kind of guy. I'm very contrarian. I will pretend to like a band just because they're obscure. That's the kind of edgy that I am. I'm not bold enough to call Firefly overrated. That's rough. I'd have a conversation about how it's not very good sci-fi, but it's a fucking fantastic show. Ah, thank you, Cookie Mama. I appreciate it. Dr. Rhino is going to be out of painting for a little while. I think we're going to wind up doing some more podcasting. Rude. I'm really just giving you shit, Alaric. I don't even think that's true. I'm trying to think of like examples of you hating things just to hate them. I'm really, yeah, that's not really a thing. I don't really like that many anime. I think I've named most of the ones that I'm into on stream before, and even those I have caveats like, Psycho Pass is great as long as you don't watch past season 1. This ain't no clanner circle, bro. What do you think's going on here? IG makes on Etsy. His stuff is great and 100% original designs. I'll have to check that out. That'll be unique for Etsy. Oh, I do. Oh, I absolutely do. Oh, nothing major, Romeo Void. He's having some. I don't want to out any of his private issues. So unless he talks about it on his stream, which I'm not sure, but he's going to be out of painting for about a month or so. I have still not finished watching Violet Evergarden, and I feel like I should. Oh, did he mention it on stream? Okay. I don't like, particularly when it's medical issues, I never like to be like, oh, such and such is doing it. Yeah, but he is having shoulder surgery, so he's going to be out of painting for a bit. Violet Evergarden, that was the one where the animation studio had that arson incident, which was horrible. And, yeah, that really sucks. but that makes me feel more than ever that I should probably watch it more. I watched like the first few episodes and I enjoyed it, and I thought it was really, really interesting, and then something else came up, and I just got kind of drawn away from it. Bearded Trash Panda, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Storm Chasers. I'm going to start off tonight putting down a little bit of phthalo green so I can do some cockpits here in a little bit. And we're going to touch up some reds, we're going to do some blues. It's going to be a good time. All the colors, all the hits, all the favorites. Oh, you want me to do the thing? We can do the thing. Let me see. Is this one, right? Isn't that's the thing you're talking about, right, Riot Sister? Maybe it was, it might have been this one.
Like I told my last wife, I says, honey, I never drive faster than I can see. Besides that, it's all in the reflexes.
That does just scream Riot Sister to me. Okay, we're gonna do the thing. This is the thing. We're gonna do it.
Hello there.
Alright. Grab the brush I will be using. Get myself some white spirits going. How you been, Alaric? I haven't been on your stream in, it seems like, forever. How's Foxhole going? I see you guys are still playing that. As the summer continues on, I think I'm gonna phase back into doing one day a week for gaming streams. We're gonna be doing Resident Evil 6 with Riot Sister for a little while, and then after that, possibly playing through Control, because I've been meaning to play that game fucking forever, and it's really good. I try to consider which games are more friendly to stream viewers and everything, but like ultimately at the end of the day, what I want to play are kind of dense single-player narrative-driven games. Should I live stream from Canada? What are you doing in Canada? Didn't manage to get banned yet. That is, I just kind of assumed that would have happened by now. Well, I'm glad to hear that I was mistaken. I mean, you know, give it time. I'm sure it will. This is Chaotic Harmony we're talking about, after all. Who has given us such absolute winners as
Crackling Thunderspunk! Yeehaw!
Please follow and subscribe. You got banned off the Reddit like a year ago.
Welcome back to 50 Shades of Coal Gray. And as he pulled his stiff bristles out of my wet fluids, I yelled out, "No, Thunderhead! You need to thin that paint first!"
What community would want to be without that? That quality contribution. It is a little Mass Effect-y, isn't it? I guess I could kind of hear that. Putting down my greens for some lasers and some cockpit glass here. And we'll go around and do the same for the others. As far as I know, my bot doesn't even recognize mods. It's just me. Oh no, he's still playing it. He still plays it regularly. I see him streaming it all the damn time. He just can't post on the subreddit. That's funny. I didn't follow my own advice and paint the deepest parts first from the inside out, but whatever, we're gonna live. You know? You either die the Alaric Kerensky or you live long enough to see yourself become the chaotic harmony, you know? Hey, Bahamut, good to see you. So what about you guys? What has your experience with MMOs been? I currently, I don't know if I'll ever be able to get back into them. And I don't know if it's that... I think it's a combination of factors. Including that I, as a gamer and as a person, have changed. And that the MMO environment, the ecosystem has shifted, changed, and evolved into what it now is, with all the microtransactions and the free-to-play shenanigans. EverQuest 2 was always awkward, though, Dragon Pridger. Like, I remember when EverQuest 2 came out, I was excited about it. And EverQuest 2 came out... What year was that? I feel like EverQuest 2 released, like, the same year as... was it World of Warcraft? Was it the same year? It had to have been close to it. And that, to me, is just like, oh, it never stood a chance. Yeah, 2007. Yeah, that's what I thought. After 500 hours, it gets to the good part. No, I don't think that's a good thing either, Ren. That's the thing. I've always enjoyed, or at least back when I used to play them regularly, I always enjoyed the early game content. And I remember getting back onto World of Warcraft after a long time, and they had implemented a system that I'm sure is very commonplace now, where it was like you would finish with one mission hub, and instead of telling you the next place to go, you would hop on to an auto mount, and it would fly you to the next mission hub, so you didn't have to do any traveling. And I'm like, I feel like that was the part of the game that I enjoyed the most. You know, exploring these worlds is obviously for nerds. 2004. Oh, yeah, okay, so not 2007, but 2004. I thought that seemed a little bit late. Also brought weaponry engaged in naval combat, so enemy gunboats tempting to kill them. With Team whined so hard, the devs actually removed it from the game. That is... I'm glad that he's still up to his old tricks, at least. He finds these amazing ways that are completely within the bounds of gameplay to just generate those negative play experiences for people. That's funny. He has a real talent for it. Shit, they should pay him to do that. That is a valuable service that he's providing, finding gaps in their game that nobody else has. Some people do get paid money for that kind of work, you know? His problem is that he does it for free willingly, and you know, they say if you're good at something, you should never do it for free. I mean, somebody has to do it, Ren. Actually, apparently nobody has to do it, because it doesn't seem like they hire that shit anymore at all. Yeah, that seems more right, Riot Sister, because I graduated 05, and I was like, I know I was playing World of Warcraft before I graduated. Because I was in the Army by 06. No other lasers. This guy really just has the one gun, but that is just fine. So TLDR, Foxhole's going great. As long as you guys are having fun. Getting paint on plastic, that is what we try to do here a lot of the time. We have a pretty eclectic mix of age ranges here for the most part. Supposed to paint plastic? Oh my god, I've been doing it wrong. Yeah, so I just don't think, short of dicking around in Fallen Earth, I don't think MMOs are for me anymore. I can't see myself really getting into them at this point. Not with the current... And you know, it's one of those things, like, yeah, do I wish somebody would release some more old school style MMOs of the type that I enjoyed? Sure I do, but they also wouldn't succeed. There'd be like 6 people playing it, I'd be one of them. And then they'd go under. So I don't blame people for not doing it. They have to follow the trends. They have to do what makes them money, I get that. Join an MMO if it has any interesting systems. And most of them just don't, though. Do you consider cash shops interesting systems? Because if so, there's this wonderful company called Gamigo that I could introduce you to. Oh, really well, Punexpected. I had a pretty big painting break there, so I'm really just kind of getting back into them after a bit of a hiatus, but still enjoying the oil painting. That is, after all, the part that matters, isn't it? How have you been, Punexpected? You've been getting some good work done lately. Oh, Blizzard, yeah. And Crossbow Roof, I hesitate to say that, oh, MMOs used to be different. They did to a degree, but I also recognize that I, as a player, used to be different. What I was looking for, how much socialization I was interested in, and these days I'm really kind of just interested in, like, single-player, story-driven narrative experiences, and you just don't get that in an MMO, unless we're talking about Star Wars The Old Republic. You get it in Star Wars The Old Republic. But this is the one MMO that had, like, good story content, where the fact that it was an MMO seemed secondary to the fact that it was an RPG. And nobody has done anything like it since. I bought New World on release day. I played it for 30 minutes and I got my refund. And then New World just circled the fucking drain. Has New World shut down yet? Because if it hasn't, I'm sure it will. That has been such a fucking mess. That one at least has been funny to watch fall apart. New World was my first MMO since City of Heroes. Felt like no one plays for fun anymore to help anyone else out. No, I agree, Greymail. It's all about rushing to endgame content and then hitting the top of leaderboards. And there's no role-playing. There's no just enjoying the content. There's no taking your time to go through it. And the game is designed towards that sort of player. It's designed to shove you through the content as fast as possible. Because it's all about being the top. All about being the best. All about that fear of missing out. It's all a big, cynical, psychological game now. And it genuinely didn't used to always be like that. It was different before. But, you know, this is what makes money. This is what succeeds. This is what has led to successful games. This is what made Blizzard the powerhouse that they are. So can I really blame them for pursuing that? I don't think I can. But I also don't have to like it, you know? I'll remind people, Fallen Earth Classic has started back up. It is available on Steam. It literally does not have a cash shop. The original Fallen Earth did, and when they release the reboot of Fallen Earth, it probably will, but Fallen Earth Classic right now has no cash shop. It's janky, it's old school, but it's fun. It's free to play, and they've opened up all the old paid content to everybody. Yeah, no, I've noticed that too, Desert Owl. I went back to Lord of the Rings Online recently, and there's a lot of stuff that's been kind of removed from the game. A lot of the early game stuff has suffered from that streamlining, and a lot of the mechanisms now are there to push you into the endgame content, which I don't like. I want to get there, damn it. It's the journey that I always enjoyed. Endgame content to me has always been pretty boring. But the problem with having that opinion is that I am not the majority of gamers, and I am not the demographic that they are marketing to, so what I think really doesn't mean a damn thing. I never played Firefall, Alaric. I remember when it was being marketed, and it came out, and then it kind of disappeared. What happened there? I've seen a lot of the art assets for it. Those still exist online. Games force everyone to level up all the things. Just want to specialize in one thing so I feel useful, you know, fantasy. No, they want you to... Here's the real sad truth of it, is it's just certain systems in certain MMOs made money, and as cash shops became more prevalent, and they realized that they could make the most money off of whales, the entire industry became geared towards perfecting that model. There are whole rooms at all of these development companies now where people, their entire job is to brainstorm methods of getting you to spend money in the cash shop. What things can we gate? What delays can we put in? How can we balance the game in such a way that players will want to spend money on things like temporary boosts or loot boosters or... like, when it was just cosmetics, that was one thing. And I give massive respect to Star Wars The Old Republic, that as far as I know, I think they've still got things like experience boosters and whatnot. But there's no, like, PvP pay-to-win or just pay-to-level stuff in that, as far as I know. They still sell primarily cosmetics, and I think that you can level boost just anyway if you pay for the game to get to the late-game content. Scarecrow, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Storm Chasers. I've heard a lot of good things about Firefall, which makes me sad that it died so quickly. I didn't even get a chance to see it. It's crazy. Got a little bit of radiant turquoise here. Mix with just a touch of green in there. Now, most of this should still be fresh enough that I don't need to refresh my indigo. Let's see. This up a bit with a nice soft dry brush. Get XP boosts if you subscribe. Something weird happened to me with Star Wars The Old Republic where I paid them a long time ago. When I was playing my Imperial Agent, I used to pay for their monthly sub to get like regular cartel coins and whatnot. And I stopped, and they just kind of never stopped giving me the bonuses, but they stopped charging me money. So my The Old Republic account has, like, monthly cartel coin bonuses from several years of subscribing that I did not pay for. Which I wish I found that more exciting, but I wasn't playing the game, so I didn't really care. That does sound pretty badass, Alaric. Was it like Battle Royale style? No, really? I guess I just assumed that it was, because it sounds a lot like how the cycle was at first. Happy Heretic, thank you so much for the reminder. Always important to stay hydrated. Just open world, shard-based interest. Damn, that does sound good. Elise, welcome in. Good to see you. Why? That sounds really fun. What happened to it? Why did... Because, again, like, I'm only familiar with it because it appeared to disappeared so fast, but I don't really know what it is that caused that. I have a little bit, Riot Sister. I'll tell you what my main problem with it is after a little bit, my primary issue, why I'm not playing the cycle regularly now that it's out and free to play. It's a great game. You should check it out. I suck horribly at FPS PvP. I'm so bad at it. I'm just like I hit a point where I'm just like, okay, I'm tired of getting like beaten like a baby seal in a sack. I'm gonna go play something single player. Alaric can attest to how bad I truly am. He knows. We kind of hope Intel is like, here's the surprise project offset game we bought way back in the day and we're releasing it out with new GPUs. Well, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, because Firefall does sound good. Yeah, I just looked back and saw that negative charisma. Oh, Alaric, that is frustrating. And there's a certain truth to the Chinese market has... I'd like to use non-pejorative terms. Because I think it sounds bad if I'm like, those Chinese people have invaded our gaming. Like, that doesn't sound good. That sounds problematic. But there was a market with the modernization of China. There is a budding and emerging market of people who were like whole generations of people who didn't even really have internet access before, let alone phones, let alone disposable income. It's a bunch of people who were living the lifestyle of medieval peasants up until relatively recently, and then they just got dumped into the marketplace, and suddenly they've got phones, and they've got credit cards, and their government loves apps that let them track everything that they're fucking doing, so they make deals with all these mobile game manufacturers, and I don't want to sound patronizing, but it's like they don't know any better. They're being fed... It's like a lot of us can sort of resist. I use the phrase us very, very broadly here. Us, this generation of people who are raised with technology and raised playing video games, we have sort of the know-how to resist a lot of these predatory marketing tactics because we've played real games. We know what real games are supposed to be. We know how it used to be. We know what we used to pay for. And a lot of these people don't. A lot of these people are being dropped like babes into this incredibly hostile, dark, murderous forest of expert marketers and Skinner boxes that are specifically programmed to steal their minds away and, most importantly, to steal their money. And they just go along with it. Why wouldn't they? They love that shit. And again, their government absolutely encourages it. And the unfortunate thing for us is that there's so much money in that market that most of these producers that used to make real video games, like, say, Blizzard, for instance, are chasing that market. That gachapon market, that pachinko market. And because they have more people and more money, we just don't matter anymore. We don't matter at all. My money doesn't mean a damn thing. Blizzard doesn't give a shit about losing us as customers because the customers they're gaining by pandering to that market dwarf us. And I can't say that they're wrong. They're gonna make more money doing that. It makes me sad. Because I remember a time when they gave a shit about making video games and not just making money. Obviously, they always cared about making money, but it wasn't the sole driving factor, or they wouldn't have gotten into making video games in the first place. This is the sad thing about some industries. Back before making video games was as lucrative as it can potentially be now, the people who got into it weren't doing it because they wanted to make money. They were doing it because they wanted to make video games, and making money let them make more video games. Riot Sister, thank you for the reminder. Same for you, Kursala. And we're facing the same thing with a lot of movies these days, too. And as the profits go up, as the success stories roll in more and more, projects aren't allowed to fail anymore. These movies have to be multi-billion-dollar successes, otherwise they're not even worth making, and that didn't used to be true. I don't think it's true now, but that's what the producers think. That's what the investors want to hear. That's what the mouse thinks. Oh yeah, Greymail, those are the whales. they outvote all of us. We want to say vote with my wallet. I do. I vote with my wallet all the time, but those people just have many, many more votes than I do. Depressing as that is. Yes, praise. Praise the mouse. Praise him! See how I didn't start this conversation bitching about Disney, but that inevitably came up anyway. It's a common theme. WoW has entered a sunk cost sort of thinking from me. You've spent so much time in it, spent so much money in it, that to bail on it now. I mean, I complain about that being a factor in Warhammer 40k. But Warhammer 40k, as much as I can complain, they're so corporate, they're trying to make all the money, I don't like their business practices, they are so fucking small. So small. Tiny little fish compared to the people that are really a problem in that realm. Games Workshop is nothing compared to Disney. They're a mid-sized fish in a very small pond is what they are. Yeah, that works. That works for me, pun expected. See, Alaric, that reminds me of like early Star Wars Galaxies. Players would specialize. Some players became famous for making some of the best blasters. They learned where all the good materials were. They paid bounty hunters to get those materials for them. They produced and sold the best damn shit on the marketplace. Ran their own stores. Old player-run guilds have become famous because that's the kind of work that they did. Not just producing it, but doing the research to figure out how to produce it. Hey, my feet, good to see you. Welcome in. What albums am I listening to these days? You know, interestingly enough, I'm on a big Dio kick right now. Ronnie James Dio. Been digging back into like Black Sabbath and even some of his work from like the 60s when he sang with like a fucking doo-wop group. Holy diver, you've been out too long in the midnight sea. Oh, what's becoming of me? Bow. I love Dio's lyrics because they make no sense at all, ever, under any circumstances. Really? What did you do, Roland? You know, yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a realization for me. I've been working on some more fantasy concept projects lately, trying to get into doing more, you know, soft surface, organic sculpting and work for like fantasy terrain. And as part of that, I've been having to ask myself as an artist, like, I understand my hard surface and my sci-fi influences, my roots, pretty well. I know what influences me, I know what I like. But what are my fantasy influences? What are my real fantasy influences that I really get into? And that led me back to listening to more Dio, because I realized that my fantasy influences mostly live in the, like, late 70s through early 90s. That era of art and music and writing, like, that's just, that is my fantasy aesthetic. Heavy Metal and He-Man. Oh yeah, Frazetta. Julie Bell. Oh yeah, that's where I live. Boris Vallejo. Say Boris Vallejo, like Julie Bell and Boris Vallejo go kind of hand in hand. Frodo of the Nine Fingers and the Ring of Doom. It's about love and loss and hobbits, yeah, but come on. Rankin Bass animation. Those older Bashi animations like Fire and Ice. I always loved the way that Necron was animated in Fire and Ice. When he would do his little fucking enchantment move, like the hero would come at him with his sword and he would like, his eyes would go white and he would have like a fucking seizure as he would puppet him. That was so cool. Plus his name was Necron. Yeah, we're gonna go heavier on here. I remember Flight of Dragons. That was some good business. I used to have Flight of Dragons on a VHS. God knows what happened to that. Rock and Rule. Oh my god, I haven't thought about Rock and Rule in a long time. We're gonna go a little heavier here. A little broader. Blendy, 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 blend. Is it really? On YouTube? Well, that's pretty cool. I might have to go check that out again. It has probably been over a decade since I've watched Rock and Rule, easily. Shadowrun. Well, yeah, I've been kind of gathering up some of my fantasy influences. A lot of Frazetta art, a lot of stuff from Fire and Ice. That barbarian-ass. I'm pretty sure that Fire and Ice was just made as an excuse to put the Death Dealer into a movie. Like, I don't know if that's true, but I'm pretty sure it is. Supposed to be a Shadowrun Battletech crossover coming this year. In what medium? Like a book? Comic book? What are you talking about? That's insane. Elves piloting mechs. Mechs fighting fucking dragons. Actually, I can't imagine a situation where a dragon would find itself under attack from a mech. Most times they would own a lot of mechs themselves and make the small ones fight one another. Though it is Shadowrun, I suppose you could contrive a reason for almost anything to happen. Oh, thank you for saying so, Farrot. I like the new Catalyst Shadowhawk. I think it's a pretty good take on the classic design. Battle run. Dragon's piloting mechs, obviously. Yes, the Space Hawk. Yes, Riot Sister, absolutely. Anytime somebody says Space Hawk, I feel like Riot Sister should just get a little bit of a head pat. Just a little one. In an endearing way. Not patronizing, come on. Well, thank you very much, Farah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the original mecha design, specifically from Fang of the Sun Dougram, so I decided to try my hand at doing some good-looking 3D printable ones. There were a couple of them out there that just weren't quite what I wanted. Hamburg Tack! Hitting us with the 200 lucky biddies. Hamburg, thank you so much, man. The new Dougram manga? Yeah, they've updated a lot of the designs in interesting ways. I was particularly looking at the way they updated the blockhead. This Mechanic Games, welcome in. Good to see you. Trying to get a little bit of color in here without messing anything up too bad. Not a lot, just a dab will do. That's looking pretty good. I think one more round of halides. We'll call that good for the metal parts. I don't want to get too complicated with it. I really just want them to pop. That and a little touch of green, I think he'll be looking good. Hey, Guiganerd. Well, it's because it's not a wet palette. This is an oil palette. It does have the same top to it in that either one would have a piece of parchment paper, but in my case, there's just plastic beneath it. SHD 60 record sheet with the old light metal post for a melee weapon, including in the art and tribute to the manga. Like the weapon grip. I don't have that pose out here. That one's sitting out in my display case, but I've done a number of poses for the proper Dougram version, including with the open cockpit. This is just sort of deployed. I keep feeling like maybe like a diorama with this one, where this is knelt down and there's like a campfire or something would be pretty cool to do, you know? Oh, in fairness, he beats a lot of people with a lot of things in that show. Hell, the Dougram rides a fucking hang glider at one point. I'm Alara Kerensky and I like the clans. It's okay, Alaric, man. We accept you for who you are, even if who you are is sometimes just, you know, objectively wrong. Hey, Nocturnal, welcome in. Hope you had a good stream. Love the beginning of the manga where he just has the upper torso and the temporary claw arm and it's a chase around the city trying to get the rest of the parts. For my money, still one of my favorite shots from the initial run was just the Dougram derelict in the first shots of the show. It's such an iconic and evocative pose. I particularly like the one arm that's come in and it's rested across the thigh. Farrod isn't wrong. Pushy space furries, indeed. How many city blocks would a mech-sized hang glider cover? Dabber Raccoon, they're not that big. That's... You know, always bear in mind, I think a lot of people get confused about the scale in Battletech and for a lot of mechs, but like, even a large mech's head/cockpit would be the size of like a sedan. Now, their hang gliders were quite large due to the weight that they had to carry, but they weren't that large. The physics of it may be questionable, of course, but then the physics of getting a tank to stand up on two legs are already fundamentally questionable, so... And that's putting it kindly. More realistically, you could say they're complete bullshit. 100% fucking nonsense.
Welcome, everyone, to Thunderhead Studios, where the only rule is...
Please don't show me your genitals. Please don't.
Have fun, be safe, and above all...
Don't show them to me. Don't. For the love of God. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Not for this stream. Well, no, that's that's not true, Farah. Gypsy Danger is like 300 feet tall. Most battle mechs would come up maybe midway Gypsy Danger's shin. Gypsy Danger is unfucking reasonably large. Your average mech by comparison would be maybe 45 to 50 feet tall. I mean, probably Ferrat, but that's rule of cool and old school design. Like, if you want to get into... This is my fundamental problem with any conversation about, like, how should we design a mech if we were going to do it practically? Is that conversation falls apart immediately, because as soon as you ask the question, how should we practically design a mech? The answer is, you shouldn't. Ever. Under any circumstances. It's a terrible idea. They're a bad concept. You have to just accept that they're cool, and that's why we put them in fiction, and put any idea of plausibility out of your mind, because they're implausible. Alaric Kerensky, the best comparison I've seen is that scene from Attack on Titan, where the Colossal Titan boots the Attack Titan. They're roughly the right size comparison for Gypsy Danger to a medium mech. And it literally, like, he tries to tackle the Titan's shoulder, and then the Titan kicks him like a half mile into a wall. I'm sorry, spoilers for Attack on Titan. That does happen at one point. Practical mech is a tank, yeah. A tank and then, like, a helicopter. And that covers everything you could ever need a mech to do, but better and cheaper. Oh Lord, Merlin models. What could it be? Primed, oil wash, bluish, redded my way up, and not hitting metal with the blue gray. Yeah, I'm hitting the metal with radiant turquoise. I am now. Oh, I see. Now, not. That was a misspell. Yes, now that is what's happening. The A-10 Thunderbolt is the most practical mech. It all depends on what you're fighting, but it's one of the fundamental problems with battle mechs as a concept, and I realize that this is like me being a spoil sport, but you know, this is like, bear in mind that I know these things, I think these things, and I still love mechs, obviously. So you can think both simultaneously. But one of the primary problems with mechs is the same problem that I have anytime somebody posts an article that's like, oh, we're on the verge of developing a man-portable railgun that they're going to issue to the army. And I'm like, no, we're not. no, we're not. Let me tell you, no, we're not. And that's for one very, very simple reason, that is simply not going to happen. Any weapon system, any military weapon system that we are going to employ on a large scale is fundamentally useless unless Private Snuffy can field strip and repair it. And let me tell you, I've known Snuffy a long time, and Snuffy's a fucking idiot, okay? Snuffy took out a high-interest loan fresh out of boot so he could buy himself a brand new fucking Mustang, and Snuffy doesn't have a driver's license. Snuffy got both his high school sweetheart and literally the first girl who said hi to him after he got out of basic pregnant in the same year, okay? That's Private Snuffy. And Private Snuffy can't field strip and repair a railgun. And Private Snuffy can't field strip and repair a fucking knee joint on a battle mech. You're lucky Snuffy knows how to operate an M16. Snuffy is the reason that new recruits aren't allowed to leave base, except in teams of 4 that are buddied up in 2s. So no. No, we will not be issuing that weaponry. Now maybe if we had a combat corps that was made up by something other than generally the lowest common denominator, well that may sound harsh, but it's just true. Someone recommended me to buy the Battletech Beginner's Guide from the Succession Wars if I ever try to play Battletech alone. I'll tell you, the starter box they have nowadays ain't bad. And if you wait a little while, Mafik, they're coming out with the Alpha Strike starter box, which is really probably a great place to actually start. Oh, we just call those field rations for those boys, this mechanic games. Glad there's going to be combat vehicles in the next Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how the next Kickstarter goes. Yeah, money, 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 money. Hey, I'm not complaining. More people need terrain. And I am happy to provide it. Hey, to Square, how you doing? I'm glad that the nostalgia for Battletech is still as high as it is. It easily could have faded a lot more than it has in recent years. But people want the IP. I mean, it has to be nostalgic because the game itself has barely been updated in the last, like, 20 years. Well, we try to keep it as cheap as we can for the 3D printed stuff, but yeah, terrain is always a bit of a challenge for any tabletop war game. Really, Farah? That's pretty awesome. That's a particular little window. Yeah, the 90s would have been a good time to be into Battletech. It got a little harder through the 2000s. The rise of 3D printing, I think, did a whole lot for the Battletech community, because we didn't have a lot of options, and I think that showed enough interest that allowed Catalyst to pull off their big Kickstarter and start the new upswing of new models, new books. I still do wish that they would... Catalyst isn't much of a rules-writing company, and, like, I get that, but I wish they'd refocus on that a little bit, because, like, it seems like all they write is lore. And all they write is lore that I don't care about. Like, I really... the Ill Clan period is just so profoundly uninteresting to me. Almost no Battletech terrain crafters on YouTube. 6mm... Well, the thing is that 6mm gaming in general is very, very niche. Compared to 28mm, where... I mean, 28mm terrain is for, like, most of the popular gaming systems out there. Don't fix what ain't broke. Alaric? The game system's not that good, man. I think Battletech could genuinely use some updates based on what has become industry standard over the last 30 years. It's very much living in the past, but then that's why I always say that I wish they'd just, and for the most part they do, you know, leave Classic alone and jump on actually updating Alpha Strike and making it into a unique game system. I've said it before, I'll say it again, my biggest problem with Alpha Strike is that there's nothing really unique or interesting about it except for the IP attached to it at this point. Mechanically speaking, there's nothing it does that other games don't do better, which is frustrating to me. That's why I wish they'd make it into BT, because it has a lot of potential, but it just... It was always sort of like a back burner throwaway project. I feel like Alpha Strike was a bone that you throw to the dogs. They're like, oh, you want something simpler? Here you go, asshole. When it could be something more if they took the time to develop it, which I really wish they do. Lucas, hello, welcome. Damn, I think this is looking pretty good. Ship between these two. I could see this working. Of course, I cut myself short on painting time tonight, which... Yeah, I'm gonna come back to do those cockpits here real quick. I'm with you, Farad. I really just, like, I don't know. Here's the thing. I have my opinions, and I also recognize completely that my opinions are dog shit, and under no circumstances should any company interested in making money listen to me or my opinions, because I would lose them money in mass quantities if they listened to me. And I say this because every time somebody tries to do the nostalgia-fueled shit that I want, they fail financially. So don't listen to me if you want to make money. Not that I think they're in any danger of doing that. I think they're quite content to ignore me. But I'm a Succession Wars 3025 guy. I'm an old school. I still like the way it was written in Battle Droids when it was assumed that, oh no, we don't know how to build any mechs anymore. It's not a question of like we don't know how to build a lot of mechs. It was we don't know how to build any. At this point, we're just stuck with what we've got. That was a setting that I really fires my imagination. This notion that the battle mech itself is the leftover symbol of a bygone era, and all that's left are people fighting over the scraps of an empire long past. I don't have any problem with them updating it to say, well, it's just most battle mechs we can't build. But the clans really were a spanner in the works, so to speak. Now, not only do we know how to build mechs, we know how to build better mechs than before! Yeah, I don't wanna. I'm not gonna go off on Blaine Pardo on the channel. I don't have very positive opinions of his work, and I do try to stay generally positive. And if I don't have anything too constructive to say, I'm just not gonna say it. So I'm just not gonna say it. No, you don't want that, Alaric. You don't. You don't want to hear my opinion on that. I mean, you might, but most people probably don't. But then you know just how full of vitriol I am. I promise you, as full of vitriol as I may be, I am also equally full of bullshit. Oh yeah, no, Stackpole is he always wrote the books that I enjoyed reading. And there's, you know, the joke of, oh, the mech stack polling and his fundamental misunderstanding of how a fusion reactor would work, but I always let that go, because that's, again, that's rule of cool. It's like, you know, if we're going to complain that that's not how a fusion reactor works, we should start complaining that that's not how the ground works. When a mech that weighs way too damn much stands up on two tiny little spots that would absolutely just collapse right into the dirt. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread. You don't like Stackpole. Oh my god. Well, then we disagree on that. Though I can't get too up in arms defending him, because if I'm being totally honest, I don't think Battletech really has any great writers. Really? The best Battletech writing I've ever read has been fan work. And some of the stuff that they paid for their latest Kickstarter was so bad. I don't even remember who the author was. I read some of the things they were releasing with the Kickstarter when they started sending it out, and I'm like, oh my god. They paid money for this. It was like the finest pulp fiction that you could possibly buy on the Craigslist right, like, literature section. It's like they were hiring off a Fiverr. I think some older Battletech is pretty good. Now, I won't claim anything against that, just because I'll be the first to admit I haven't read. I have not read all of it. I don't have an encyclopedic enough knowledge of all Battletech fiction to say unequivocally that they have no writers. I'll say they have no good writers, no fantastic writers that I've personally read. Decent writers, and I say that as someone who enjoys pulp. I really do. Even bad pulp, I'll read it and enjoy it. You can really hear the old CRT monitors and the mechs in those books. Oh no, I'm not gonna. No, I am above that, Alaric. I am evolved. I know your ways. I've known you for some time now. I feel like you've forgotten this. Do they speak English and what? As a pulp schlock enthusiast, Shrapnel's had some great short stories, and this isn't just because our own Jungle Plague got a story in it. I don't think I've read any of the Shrapnel magazines they've put out in some time. Oh my god. Mikolas the Seventh. Or just Mikolas 7. I suppose either one is technically possible. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Welcome in, raiders. Mikolas, how was your stream? I hope you had a good one. Don't feel obliged to stick around. I know you've probably been streaming. You're probably tired. Stretch your legs. Drink some water. Do what you gotta do, my friend. I mean, you know, I'm very forgiving of pulp authors, Kursala. When you have to describe the same thing over and over, you're going to find yourself repeating. And let's be completely honest. If they were better authors, they'd be writing better books. They wouldn't be taking jobs writing pulp military fiction. It draws a very particular caliber of author to it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Your Dan Abnetts of the world are aberrations. And even he can get repetitive. Trying to finish up Dagon from Reaper and starting work on a red dragon? Mikolas, if you have something you'd like to share, whether it's something that you worked on tonight or just some photos that you've taken recently, we have a bit at the end of this stream called the Storm Report, where I encourage artists to share their work, and we will go ahead and take a look at it live on the stream. If you felt like sharing with us, I would absolutely love to see some of what you've been working on. And for anyone else who might be interested in contributing to said Storm Report, it's so easy to do. All you gotta do is hit !Discord in chat or click the little Discord join button down there in the, where would it be? I guess it would be kind of over, kind of down there where my finger's pointing. Pop on over into the Discord, jump into the channel, mark the Storm Report, post a picture of something you've been working on, something artistic. Really, almost anything can go. We got a lot of mini painting, but you know, a lot of other artists around here too. And we'll be happy to have a look at your work. This PPC isn't coming out exactly how I imagined it, but fuck it, whatever. I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, Farah, did you say you're doing some work for CGL? That's pretty cool. Would I know any of your designs? I mean, yeah, it sounds like it. Does he look like a bitch? What's up, Sumatha? Welcome in. Oh, thank you, Sumatha. Yeah, we've just been touching up our metals and getting ready to do some work on the cockpits. We got our Dugrum together, our Bigfoot together, and then our little De Tomaso. Monkey Man the Third, not to be confused with the first, second, certainly not the fourth. Good evening to you too. Now, bear with me for a second. I wanna take a look at something right quick. I love that you can follow people just by clicking on them in chat now, but I'm not following Mikolas the 7th, but I wanted to take a look at some of his work and what he's been doing. Let's see, we got an Instagram. I need another window. Let's open up that. And open up you. Make you the right size. I'm always so prepared. So incredibly prepared for everything. Alright, now if I go to switch over, it should do it in the right window. I certainly hope it does. Let's see. Skabam! There we go, yeah. What's up, Alaric? What you got? copy that, and boom. Let's drop a follow here to start with and see what we can see. Ah, the base for the Great Dagon. With the words of the old and the deep ones. Oh, we did an MCP Venom pretty recently. I like the blue tones in that. That came out real nice. Big, nasty, goobly tongue. Ooh, a Warforged. I like the kind of bronzy, brassy tones on this fella. Ooh, this is nice. Ooh, I like that fire cloak. That's a very fresh take on something that could have been done as just fur very easily. Nicely done. Oh, we got an owlbear. Classic. What am I looking at here? Oh, we got some gunplay kits. Still something I haven't quite branched into, but I'm always so interested by these kits. Very nice. Ooh, lots of good work in here. Nice cherry reds, too. And we even got an Optimus. We even got a classic Optimus. Now, let's check out this latest pick real quick. Oh, and this is the Dagon you've been working on. Ooh, I like him with his angler dangler. Lots of cool blues, and then really well contrasted against that kind of like salmon-y color for the gums and all the webbing and whatnot. I like the greenish yellow for the eyes. That's a nice touch. Very cool. Well, thank you again for the raid. Always like to see what people are getting up to out there in the world. I'm really running low on time tonight because I had to start so damn late, so let me see what I can get done here. I'll end up doing another round of highlighting, but that'll just be with a pure titanium white. Well, you know that's the look I'm always going for, Jungle Plague. Now, whether I'm good at achieving it or not, I leave that up to you to determine. I forgot he had medium lasers sticking out of his back. You would think I wouldn't forget these things considering I modeled them myself. But, you know, you would apparently be wrong. Hey, Manro Fasol! Welcome in, good to see ya. Give yourself time to square. Give yourself time. I find it comes back if I kind of relax about it a little bit. More than if I try to fram and jam and make myself feel motivated when I just don't. Hey, I like my rear-facing medium lasers. In 3025, a couple of medium lasers sticking out of your back can be the difference when some little nasty-ass locust runs around behind you. Between getting a split reactor and continuing to fight. Back-mounted weaponry are one of the things that are lost in the translation from Battletech to Mech Warrior. Out of necessity, mind you, but yes, still lost. How does humidity affect 3D printing? Depends on how much humidity. Generally speaking, not a lot. If it's extremely humid, it can cause clogging for FDM printers. Like, the amount of humidity we're talking about has to be pretty extreme. It is my opinion that the tendency for 3D printers to get all hot and bothered over making things like cabinet containers and dryers for their filament is mostly just them being into the kit and not really a necessity. Yeah, in Colorado, it just plain doesn't. So I'm not always the best person to ask, because it's bone dry where I live. We've gotten a little rain recently. That's been nice-ish. Still not enough, mind you, but a little. I'm gonna have to do some corrections on that machine gun, but that's okay. Let's do a little bit of work. On our cockpits. Just so we're at least so close to done we can taste it. Oh, I forgot to do the vents. Oh well. I'll come back to it. Alright, let's blend that out a touch. There we go. And pull that up into the green. Oh, don't stress for me. I got it. Nice thing about oils, too, is it's real easy to fix if you feel like you fuck it up. And we can even afford to strengthen that some. And I'm going to let that set for just a bit before I go to blend it out, because I want that to be pretty bright in those spots. Let's come back to some of these others. Yeah, the really nice thing about oils, too, is like none of this is particularly time sensitive. I can take as much time as I like. Alright, grab this bottom corner here. A little extra. No big deal. Oh, 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 oh. Thank you for the reminder, Bahamut. Ah, there we go. Move this yellow out into the green. Hey, Leaf Painting, good to see you. How you doing today, man? I hope this Thursday is treating you well, Leaf Painting. Mine has been relatively productive. We had a bit of a late start, so I didn't get as much done today as I ideally would have, but you know, any painting is good painting. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling a little bit better now, at least. Grab a smaller brush to do this portion in here, just because it's... you know what? I have an idea. A new brush I wanted to try. It's nice and fresh. Might as well use it for this. I just had to go and model such a tiny space and then decide to paint it last, but I can always clean up around it. Really what you should do is paint the deep parts and then the outer parts. And I'm always the guy who's like, can you please make it large enough for painters to access? And then I model this shit. Hypocrisy is apparently my stock in trade. is a decent little brush. Let's see how it holds up. Never have too good luck with synthetics over the long run. But they're also not terribly expensive, usually. Hey, Gus Schultz, good to see you. Welcome in, man. We got some talented fucking painters in here today. What have I done to see Leaf Painting, Gus Schultz, Journeyman Paint Hour, and others so regularly? I'll take it, Nocturnal. Had me at Doug Rim Minis. That's always good. You know, I feel like I'm in good company when I hear things like that. Because I'm the same way. You had me at Linear Cannon. There. How's that reading? Around the cockpit. It's just a simple lensing job. I didn't really want to do anything more complex than this. I might intensify it a little bit down towards the glare. And I'll touch up the red around the struts a bit, too. Hey, Shiny Mew Paints, good to see you. Welcome in. Alright, we're getting to be around that time, but I at least wanted to get to this point on our main event mech before we had to call it for the night. The rest of them are so damn close. It is really just detailing at this point to get them up to the same spot. I think this whole lance is gonna look just cool as hell when it's done. And in fact, before I settle down for right now, let me do a quick blend over here since I've let this sit for a bit. Hey, Tobian Lord. I am sorry to hear that you had a stressful day, but I'm glad to hear that it's over and you are at home now. Welcome in. Pull up a seat, take a load off. Hopefully your day is looking up. I think this guy's gonna look pretty nice when he's done. The green really helps to set that red off, doesn't it? Thankfully, he's not too far off. I gotta do the lensing on the lasers, finish up the other side of the cockpit, a little detailing on the PPC, throw a couple edge highlights down. And in fact, I may even get to that late tonight before the next actual paint session, because I would love to be able to do photography on these guys on Saturday, so we can lay into continuing with our Space Dwarf boys. This is what I want to be working on Sunday. Is doing some more of these glowing hammers and get this army done. Yeah, that's the power of the phthalo green. You don't want to go for like the bright greens. You end up looking like a fucking Christmas elf, you know what I mean? Alright, folks, give me just a couple of minutes. I'm going to step away, stretch my legs. I'm going to grab myself a teeny tiny snack, get some more water, and when I get back, we'll go ahead and roll right on into the storm reports. So, you have until then to get your entries in. If you have something you'd like to grab a shot of and show to us on tonight's report, now is the time to get that done. I will see you folks in just a minute. Hey! How we doing, how we doing, how we doing? A little extra cleanup here. Oh no. Oh, what have I done? I smeared a little blue paint. Let me make sure I didn't get it. Let me just make sure I have identified all the places that the oil paint is before I set anything else down or move anything. I think I just had a little glob there that I stuck my thumb in. It's on these two brushes, so that's not a big deal. It's just on the tip of my thumb. It is the one unfortunate thing with oil paint. Man, you gotta be on it, because you get some on your hand, you start smearing it around. It is a bit of a mess. There we go. You want to see him? Want to see him, Verg? It's coming together pretty decently, I'd say. He only needs one more quick touch-up pass for some highlights, and then I'm going to put him on a base and give him a varnish. I'm pretty happy with where he is for the amount of time we've spent on him. And then we got the Battlemaster to a similar place today. Still needs a bit of love, but he's very close. Just doing a quick twirl on my other brushes to make sure it's not on any of their handles. Nope, they're good. Okay. Give this a wipe. And then the same for these. Just to make sure the mess doesn't spread any further. There we go.
You know,
All
I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're
hands,
trying to get inside the lines
on
or
our brushes, on our desk, everywhere but on the model. Everywhere but there. Well, and I think I know why, is because I had a glob of it on that other paper towel, and I just kind of grabbed it without thinking. Yeah, we're about to start. We are just about to start. I just like to make sure I don't have any messes waiting for me or anything I can jam my elbow into carelessly to cause a problem. But I think we are just about there.
All right, locusts and gentle mechs, get ready to feast your eyes on glorb paint and wet palettes with the occasional culinary atrocity thrown in on tonight's Storm Report, brought to you by viewers like you.
I love these little fig cookies. They're delicious. They got the normal fig flavor, and then they got blueberry flavor and raspberry flavor. That was nice and soft. Oh, you can get your own, buddy. I did get just a touch of oil paint on my shirt, which is the worst thing. See if I can take it off without smearing it in. Yep, okay. It's not too bad. Yeah. That came off pretty good. That is the dumbest of the things that I could do. That's not true. There are dumber things I could do. Give me moment. It's that way for a reason, Sumitha. Eventually we'll come up with a better way of doing the Storm Report. Just coming at my shirt with a little bit of white spirits to take out the little bit of paint that did smear. I feel like an idiot getting blue paint everywhere. I'm normally pretty good about it. Yeah, that worked out nice. No fuss, no muss. Nothing on my hand. A little bit on the back of my hand. Let's get that right now. Okay, now nothing. 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 Ah, we're clear. Excellent. Whew! Yeah, at least it's a good color. It'll just look really, really awkward and big, horrible splotches. Oh, it might have been a little off-center. We'll give it a little bit of an enlarge. Alright, alright. Yeah, if I had more spots, then it's tie-dyed. That's a thing, right? That's popular in 2022. Part of that's because I had my window a little bit smaller than it normally is. Let's go ahead and enlarge. And here we go. Up first from Mafik. Oh my god. Dead Bones Anchor Team. Ooh. I like your take on the dervish. The dervish is usually rendered so spindly, I guess is probably the best word for it. I don't know. Like the MechWarrior Online / MechWarrior 5 dervish is just so, yeah, spindly, almost skeletal. I don't know. It never really strikes me as being the weight that it should be. Yours is a bit chonk, but I like how it almost seems to have some DNA in common with the Archer. The ever-popular Hunchback, complete with his Kanye shutter shades. And the biggest of booms, that AC-20 riding high on the shoulder. I like the way you've done his legs in particular. And over here we have a Stinger. Wait, is it a Stinger or a Wasp? These are technically two distinct mechs, Mafik. Yeah, it would have to be. It would have to be the Stinger. Because he's got the Leo-style TV face. Yeah, has CGL done a dervish? I just realized that if they have, I don't think I've seen the new CGL dervish, or if I did see it, my eyes just glanced right over it. I really do like this livery. It stands out, it has a nice distinct unit marking. I like how this one's only partial up on the chest panel. Very nice. Important to have some bad boys in the anchor team. I like how they're kind of wading through like a lake, relatively shallow lake. Gives them a little bit of a sense of scale. I particularly like the way you've done the rounded shoulders front to back on the Hunchback. The Hunchback, more than most, suffers from becoming too blocky just because of kind of it's the nature of the mech and the way the weapon is always positioned. All the redesigns always make him into just a big chonky brick, but this guy still has some curves on him, and I appreciate it. Very, very nicely done, Mafik. Here we have from Monkey Man. This piece is being used used for the Siege of Terra diorama. That's right, we were looking at that before. This poor rhino made the mistake of being on the wrong side of a Warhound's Vulcan Mega Bolter. Well, I mean, I feel that's yeah, that's a pretty binary state. I wouldn't want to be anywhere nearby any Vulcan Mega Bolter. I feel like even being behind it close would still sort of blast my eardrums into paste. If you have any questions on how I did parts of this, I will try and answer them. Oh, I like this. I like that you can see how the Mega Bolter fire kind of walked up and across, like it got focused here on the front of the Rhino and punched through that front armor, and then sort of dragged in more of a quick motion up and across the pintle mount, the guy in the cupola here, and then yeah, you got more heavy bolter rounds just went and sort of peppered that top surface. The only thing that I could see, like, this looks fantastic Honestly, this is really well done. The running blood coming out of the cupola is also like that. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm not even going to suggest it. I just saw something and I thought, like, well, you could do, but you know what? This looks really good, and I don't want to sully the quality of this piece or the story that it's telling with my stupid little, yeah, but you could. I like his... Is his arm connected there, or did his arm get blown in half? Because his hand is lying down here and his shoulder's all the way up here. You know, punishment? Since you're this close, I'll allow it. I will allow one. And I know that it's bad policy. I know it's bad policy to make exceptions for just one person. But punishment, I want to see what you've got to post. I'm indulging in some bad policy. We're just gonna have to deal with that for today. Okay. I respect that. Pardon my snacking. Iron Bandit, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream, welcome to the Storm Chasers. Punishment 9, if you want to abide by the rules, that is just fine. Again, I respect that, and you can go ahead and get yours posted just as soon as we're done with this one. I will be resetting it. You still do, Sumitha, don't worry about a thing. Monkey Man, that diorama is going to be so fucking cool when you get it done, man. All the little pieces, all the little stories, to me, are always what make a diorama work. Being able to, like, zoom in on one small piece of the battlefield and kind of see what happened here. What is happening here? How are these men fighting? What is their little tale? And yeah, this is a gory one. And you say the arm is blown in half? Yeah, I thought so. I was like, his hand looks like it's too far down for the... I can dig that. And you got the Corvus pattern helm all slumped forward. That's really well done. Really well done, Monkey Man. I can't wait to see that project move further along. Here we have from Ren Momo, I asked, and someone drew it. Is that on an Etch-a-Sketch? What's happening here? Someone... Ren, help me out. What did you ask for, exactly? It's an Imperial Guardsman. It appears to be Akkadian. I mean, he's recognizably Akkadian just from the look on his face, to be fair. Oh, there's a head inside the helmet? Monkey Man, you should do some, like, super close-up shots of that. I'd love to see that. Eat on stream, fish in game, inventory management. I could chew loudly into the microphone if that helps. We could call it ASMR. Didn't get to fight after the planet broke. He's like, what the fuck? There's a fight and you guys left me out of it. I mean, okay, Ren, I'm glad that your very specific needs were sated, even if I don't fully understand them. But in fairness, I think that probably applies to a lot of them. Here we have from Rockin' Robin Workshop. Start of my Imperial Fists for 30k. Oh, Robin. Robin. I'm very happy right now. I'm very happy right now because Robin, you're one of my favorite painters. And you're doing my favorite chapter / Legion. My favorite company of them, with the black shoulder pads. In my favorite armor, which is the Mark 6 Corvus pattern. There were a lot of favorites right here for me. And on top of all of that, you're doing it damn well. That yellow looks so good in the gradient that continues all the way from the top of the head down to the feet. The dirty feet look fantastic. The decals look good. I love the 7th Legion markings that you have on their leg plates. These are fucking good looking, man. I don't want to just sit here and gush over them, but even the subtle gradient that you have on the shoulder pads, like if I'm zeroing in, I'm guessing kind of sponged weathering to make them look dirty, but like this shoulder pad in particular looks fantastic. Homeboy's rocking the classic Space Marine pose. You got the old Godwin pattern bolters on them and everything. The chain blade bayonets. Only picked Imperial Fist because no one wants to paint yellow. I love Imperial Fists, and I don't particularly want to paint yellow. So yes, that's absolutely true. But legitimately, Imperial Fists are my favorite chapter/legion of Space Marines. I'm a Rogel Dorn boy if I've got to pick sides at all. Sponge battle damage, it's effective as hell, man. The green eyes are a great choice too. They just stand out really, really well against the yellow. It's a fantastic contrasting color. I appreciate that you've managed to get the studs to still stand out against that black that you're going with. A little bit of gunmetal highlighting really goes a long way. And yeah, the yellow and the black. There are a number of different color combinations you can go with for Imperial Fists. One of the most popular is yellow and red, but I love the yellow and black. Yeah, legitimately, Rockin' Robin, in your channel on the Discord, would you mind doing me a favor? Would you give me a write-up on your process for these Marines? Because they are beautiful, and knowing Rockin' Robin, it is almost certainly deceptively simple, but just chosen very, very intelligently. So I am very much looking forward to reading that. You could also do Crimson Fists. The Crimson Fists are okay, but Imperial Fists. Imperial Fists for me. That was a fucking damn. Nope. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not painting Space Marines. You can't make me. Here we have from Shiny Mew Paints a better shot of the avatar made for VR chat. Fix the clipping texture that was driving me up the wall. Any suggestions for a name? I like Fathom's. I think Pun Expected is on with the Fathom's. Really, really getting the money's worth out of the compression gear. Really surprisingly nice models. Damn well done. What do you work? Oh my, as in oh my. As in look at the booba. As in let's go ahead and take that thickness slider all the way to the right, boy. Shiny Mew Paints, what do you work in, out of curiosity? What is your software? Upon Expected started my next Journey Miniatures model, Shinobi. Trying another limited palette, eschewing reds, violets, and magentas. Gonna focus more on grays. And a little more painted while watching. Off to bed, and then he put it in a thread, the absolute maniac. Ooh. Limited palettes are always an interesting... God, this reminds me of something. Is this reminding me of a Final Fantasy character? Not just in the style. Obviously, the style could easily remind you of a Final Fantasy character, but the color palette, it reminds me of Titus. It reminds me of Titus from Final Fantasy X. That's the color palette. That's what this says to me with the yellow shorts and everything. Samurai Tomb Raider. Lara Croftu. Oh, that was racist. That was bad. Let's pretend I didn't do that. Or Yuna. There we go. Is Yuna a character from... Was she in Final Fantasy X? I think the last time I played Final Fantasy X was shortly after it released. Yuna's colors and Lulu's pose. I will take your word for it. I played Final Fantasy X once. It was shortly after it released. I can remember playing it on the PlayStation 2 at my buddy's house. We were also playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai at the same time, if that dates it at all. Was the main female character in Final Fantasy X. Again, I'll take your word for it. It's reminding me of Final Fantasy X, and I think maybe Titus is just the only character I remember from that. It's very much the Final Fantasy X color palette, though. The blue and the yellow, and then the kind of ruddy orange. Really nice work on the pale skin tones. I have to say, of everything that I'm seeing here, Pun Expected, the hair. I'm loving the hair. Subtle, effective, Reads well. Reads that I always struggle with hair because hair it's a little oily. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. You almost have to use real mild NMM-like techniques to get it to look right. And this hair reads very, very well indeed. Wonderful work. Where's the X? There's the X. That's the one I have to click. Yeah, I remember 10-2 coming out, and, like, it was all female characters, and they could all play dress-up, and I just wasn't really into it so much. Here we have from Journeyman Paint Hour, mostly finished the first of 12. Basing, varnishing, and decals will have to wait till I'm home, but edge highlights, lensing, and layering are complete. Decent quality considering I have 8 paints, a bad lamp, and 2 brushes to work with, and a bum knee! Debating if I should use a brighter highlight and counter highlight. Counter highlight, I believe, is usually referred to as a shadow, to be fair, on the bottoms of the panels. That answer depends so much on just how much work you want to put in. I'm going to tell you right now, Journeyman Paint Hour, this looks nice. Honestly, this looks really, really nice. The diversity of color in it is used really well. I like how the blue forms just kind of like a single band going across the front. I think the lensing looks good. I think particularly the lensing right here in the cockpit reads incredibly well. I think the green is really very rich. I think it looks good. It looks very clean. If you wanted to put in more work, yes. A brighter green highlight up top, and then mixing something like a dark green and a touch of a really deep blood red and glazing it into the shadows, yes, that would make the green more rich. It would make the green pop more. You don't need to do that, though. This is a really good looking mech, and particularly if you're planning to do, how many did you say, of 12? Quantity has a quality all its own. If you were doing an individual piece, if you were doing 4 or even 1, anywhere from 1 to 4, a single centerpiece mech to a lance that you wanted to look really, really good, I'd say go ahead and do it. Since you're doing essentially a company, I'd probably skip it myself. But again, that depends entirely on how much work you want to put in. I promise you it would look good if you took the time to do it, but that already looks damn nice. The focus of it is definitely that lensing right there in the center, and that reads beautifully. Here we have from 7up Man. My 2 kids, a friend, Wheezy, and I each painted a Clan Diamond Shark mini for my brother's birthday. Y'all keep doing this. None of us knew what the other would paint, but we used the iconic pick by Florian's Spooky Mellies Fins Up, who we've taken a look at before, as an inspiration. This is what I, 46, came up with. Yes, I know. I've used the same text 3 times in a row. Sue me. I mean, it's an accurate description for each one, and I like the little bit of context. Damn, I love that basing. I do love that basing. I'll tell you what I really like about this guy is that it's a real subtle balance you have from top to bottom with blue, gray, blue, but does create a nice balance, and the decal actually forms a nice little splash of color, adding in that necessary little bit of red here and a little bit of yellow here. Again, very, very subtle, but very effective. Really good work on that very particular, like, sunlight filtering through seawater pattern across the top. That's a difficult one to get right, but I can say just looking at it, it reads as what it's supposed to be. I always feel like that's one of the best compliments that I can give. I want to sit here and go, this is the most amazing thing ever. The fact is, I can tell what it's supposed to be. And I can't tell you how many minis I've painted in my life, or I've been like, it's supposed to look like this, and people go, oh, well, I wouldn't have known. That's a terrible feeling. But when you got a complex or a unique idea in mind, and you do it, and you put it in front of someone, and they go, ah, I see what you did there. Well, that is mission accomplished to me. Damn, that basing really does read well. The dark spots around the feet absolutely help a whole lot. Wonderful, wonderful work. And here we have from Wheezy. Here are all 4 diamond sharks next to each other. All worked from the same reference art. Don't know what the others would do. It was a cool project, one I encourage others to try. This is sort of like what I did with Steel Rebel close to the end of last year, where we worked on the same model going for the same scheme, but didn't look at each other's work until we were done. Just to kind of see how we would each interpret it uniquely. And it is interesting to see how each person takes something different away from kind of the same idea. The basing on this remains some of the coolest, and these bright, intense, saturated colors are just so pleasing to the eye. This is, I think, one of the most subtle and effective high-level paint jobs. Now, I know that these two were done by younger and newer folk. This one is... I think this one would probably read better at average viewing distance. And, of course, as we mentioned before, they worked in some weathering down towards the feet, which adds some necessary color and helps to balance the yellow of the cockpit. And then this is, I mean, for this being among the simplest of the jobs that were done as part of this effort, it still reads so damn well. I remember this Nova Cat, even after seeing it, like, what, we saw this last week? It's a cool project, and it's wonderful to see them all together. I hope you guys had fun doing it, because, yeah, honestly, do it again. It seems enlightening from an artistic perspective. Really, really well done, guys. Here we have from Terrain. After a bit of a pause, I got back to painting and finally finished something inspired by this Discord, the Locust. Oh. It's Gecko. That's wonderful. Because we based the emote, our Locust emote, we based that on one of the first paint jobs. I guess it wasn't one of the first. Close to one of the first memorable paint jobs I did on the stream. That being the Gecko Locust, which I have out in my game room. God, that's dumb. I'm gonna have to combine my game room with my office so I can stop giving that stupid excuse. That's wonderful. That's wonderful Terrain. Yes, Riot Sister got that emote as a gift for me, and it was based on the there it goes. The Gecko Locust that we did for Rampart Company, which is from one of the CGL source books based on HBS Battletech. Oh, I want to look at this again. This is just... Terrain, that's fucking awesome, man. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for sharing it. I'd love to see some more pictures of that little bad boy. If you feel like posting them up. If they're not already in the community showcase. Oh yeah, no, that green is like is painful. That is one hell of an intense lime green. And the saturation isn't even, like, you can tell the saturation isn't even particularly punched up from his fingers. That is just a super intense green. I'd love to know what paint you used, and I'd love to see some more pictures. Here we have from Cybran Knight, having way too much fun with all these Isakano haulers. I think this all started as a joke in the MCC Discord, no less. Some of the best things start as jokes. Also, it happens to fit perfectly on Hextech roads, if anybody was wondering. You know what, Cybran Knight? It's one of the wonderful things of guys like you and me actually deciding to stick to the appropriate scale for what we're trying to do and then standardizing all of our measurements. We're both using the same scale, so they all go together wonderfully. Damn, those prints came out nice! Like, really nice. You've got such a wonderful eye for just the right amount of detail at this scale. I like the difference between the rolling door and the swing door. And even the flatbed looks pretty good. And yeah, you can always knock off a few of these bad boys and put them on some of them Hextech roads. Hint, hint. Here we have from Bahamut, working on some of them Necrons. What are these? Did I ask this before? I saw something else that had the long tail and then it had claws. But what are these? These look like tomb spiders, but with tails. These are what wraiths look like now? Because the wraiths used to be the ones with the long Freddy Krueger claws. But these look more like tomb spiders or the lower bodies of destroyers on wraith tails. Why do I always have this, like, I realize I literally always have this reaction when people post Necron models. I'm like, these models don't look like they did when I was painting Necrons. Yeah, Azri, that should tell you how fucking long ago it was. Canoptech wraiths. Wait, there are 2 different kinds of wraiths? Why do I even ask these questions? I feel like such an idiot. They look good. Good job. Can't wait to see them painted. Yeah. Shake my damn cane at the storm report. All wraiths are Canoptech. I'll take your word for it. Bahamut, that's some good looking build action there, bro. I can't wait to see some paint going down on them. Here we have from Happy Heretic. The Gunsberg Eagles are done and dusted. Really hard to take a good pick of these guys, but I like how they ended up. Combination of the oil wash and pigments ensures these mechs look well used. They've seen some shit. I even filmed the process of painting the Grasshopper for a future tutorial vid. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited we're going to get to see that. Grasshopper's looking nice. Oh, God, that oil wash helps that pop so much. Some of the best looking metallics. Damn. And this was metallic base, speed paint, oil wash. This is a process that we're going to have to do some more with, because these came out so good for how quickly you're claiming to have done them. I'm going to want to see that video. I'm going to want to see that video for some confirmation, getting this here Grasshopper done. Lovely. Lovely work, Happy Heretic. They really do. And like he said, these are... He said something like 20 minutes per mech? Was that it, Happy Heretic? Because that's stupid. That's ridiculous. That's unbelievable. Here we have from Nocturnal Minis. Here's a progress report for my 1K American Bolt Action Army, built and painted in 2 weeks. Week 1 done, looking like I'll actually pull it off. Look at them. Look at them roughnecks. Oh yeah, you got the basics down for sure. Like I said, if there's any game system where you were going to be able to pull this off, it's Bolt Action. You chose right. And I'm excited to get some close-ups on these bad boys as you get a little bit more detailing done. Get them bases gridded up. They'll look fantastic. Also, no one told me about Microset and Microsol. I have talked about Microset and Microsol on this stream, Robin. What the fuck are you talking about? I've literally talked about both of those products, how they work, and what they're for. I guess my question to you is, Robin, why aren't you in every stream, bro? Don't you want to support the channel? Shame. Shame. I don't listen. That's a good answer. You probably shouldn't. 1 to 2 hours per mech in total if you don't count the dry time for the oil wash, which personally I don't. You set it and you leave it for a night or two, and then it's done. Well, I assumed he's not saying he doesn't Legion. I hope he doesn't Legion. No, hold on. No. Riot Sister, mod status means you're not allowed to mutiny. That's not how this works. Nocturnal, those are coming together fantastic, man. Please keep us posted. Here we have from Merlin Models. This box, the Deptus Titanicus Warlord Battle Titan, was originally produced in the UK. It was flown to Canada to the Abyss LGS in Montreal, Quebec. I then won it in a raffle from Vanessa Miniatures. The store wouldn't post it outside Canada. I had it sent to a friend in Ottawa. They then flew to visit family and friends in England. One of my best friends from university knew them from school, so he collected it for me from her, as he was already intending to visit Wales for the first time in 3 years. Here's Gavin arriving with a model I've wanted for as long as I've known it exists. Never has one model traveled so many unnecessary miles to come back to its country of origin. I challenge that statement. I would imagine that it probably has. But for the sake of argument, and because I can't actually name an example, I'll accept it here. International Pass the Parcel for the win. And then got a picture of its arrival. How wildly unnecessary. At the same time, looking at these two dapper gents here, like particularly being in England of all places, I guess Wales, pardon. You can tell by this fucking abomination of a word that we're in Wales. I'm just saying, I would glance at you two guys on the street and go, oh yeah, they play 40k. Yeah, no, I buy that. Well, congratulations, Merlin, both on the win and on finally receiving it. Here we have again from Bahamut, working on some more of them Necrons. What happened to this gent? What am I looking at, Bahamut? What is that surface? It's interesting. It kind of reads like hammered iron. Is it textured? I need an explanation. I require elaboration on what it is that I'm looking at here. Because this looks like this was just a spray. But you got an interesting sort of speckled texture to it that actually works pretty well. Black primer, brushed champagne spray. Huh. Explains the slight brown note to it, the little bit of warmth. Well, that came out quite nice. Yeah, it reads as aged metal. It reads as like a little bit oxidized. But for what I'm imagining is kind of zero effort, that's a fucking great effect. Do a couple of glow effects, put in a few more colors to add interest, and I mean, shit, you could do a whole army like that without too much effort. Really nicely done, Bahamut. I'd be very... If you're doing that on the rest of the army, I'd be very, very curious to see some more close-ups as you continue. Oh, here we have from Squared. Yeah, work smarter, not harder, huh? That's how you're doing all your Necrons? Show us more. Show us more, Bahamut. If I saw previous pictures of them, I don't think I recognized that texture as much as I did on that figure. Been learning how to use Vectornator on my iPad while watching Twitch. I painted this over a screenshot as fan art for a show on WBPL 76. Shipbreaking with Aloe. Shipbreaker's a fun game. I do enjoy Shipbreaker. I suck at it, but, you know, I guess that's kind of the point. In space, everyone can hear you mean. Oh, this looks wonderful. I like the chunky style. And I really like the reflected cutting laser that we have not only in the visor, but then down here on the breathing apparatus. Very, very nicely done to Square. Alright. Automata Americana. My work on the Crawdad as well as updating my Marauder are both in the fiddly phase. We're just messing with different print settings, supports, little bits of actual model tweaking here and there, so there's nothing left to really show off yet. Starting something new tonight. This one's a classic, nearly ubiquitous mech. It'll be fun to see if Thunderhead or Sumatha can guess it. Assassin? This looks like an assassin to me. I'll give you a moment. I'm betting assassin. It just looks... Really? That looks a lot like the top canopy for an assassin. Who else would that be? Nearly ubiquitous. Is it a locust? It could be a locust. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be Sumatha. It has the shape of it. It's a locust. Okay, yeah. I was looking at the hull kind of coming off to the side and thinking, like, what if all it really got was a little bit under the nose? Yeah, that could be a locust. Alright. Well, I'll be very curious to see how that shapes up as well. I say that a lot, but the fact is, y'all leave me curious so much. The forces of Barak Scotley were worried. Admiral Bug Manson, the ever-hosed, had purchased a new defensive emplacement from a traveling sales grot. The good dwarves were nervous, but all agreed to the new rule at the lighthouse docks. Stay off the grass. Reusing old display boards. Long Star opened this weekend and the dwarves are back in town, baby. The dwarves are back in town. Second Ironclad has joined the mix along with the Kronspine. This fucking thing. I do like this so much. It's such a neat model. He did such a good job on it. And all them fucking steampunk dwarves showing up on the board. Nice, light, fluffy clouds. Oh man, display boards are somehow just never anything I really got into doing myself, but I've always enjoyed seeing them. Yeah, really, there's a lot going on. Also, nice kitchen on top of everything else. Very, very cool. And I continue to love what you did with those Kuritan overlords, Azri. I'd love some, if you feel like taking some closer pictures of your work in here, I would love some close-ups over in the showcase so everybody could get a closer look at it. Here we have from Runic. Raccoon spent 2 weeks on this one. The eyes give me chills. I feel I'm getting a lot better at non-metallic metal. I also owe Riot Sister thanks for how much color theory and assistance coming up with a look to this piece. Unbelievably stunned at my own work. Isn't that a good feeling, Runic? Does that make me a real painter? I think, we throw the word real around a lot. I find most real painters loathe their own work. What it makes you is a lucky painter. So ride that feeling, baby, and keep loving what you're doing. These raccoon hands make art? I would say so. Oh yeah, the color choice in here is fantastic. I love the kind of the ruddy red down here next to the bluish claws. A little splash of green. Repeated that green here on the emerald. Same thing with that ruddy color. These stand out well next to each other. The purple and the blue. Oof. Ooh, yeah, that non-metallic metal on the blade. That reads beautifully. Honestly, as good as this blade edge looks, I'm going to tell you right now, I love this little brass crossguard. I love the way this looks. This reads wonderfully. Same thing for the amulet here around his turtle chest. I really only just realized this is a turtle I'm looking. Like, it makes so much sense. I'm like, oh, that explains the beak and the feet, really. Oh, this is a lovely looking piece. The pistol, the buckle. The smallest pieces of non-metallic metal are often the trickiest to do, but the buckle and this little, I guess it's a mantle that he's wearing, really read very, very well. I like his compass too. Little splash of color in there. A little splash of color works excellently. Most artists hate their own work. Yes, yes. The purple is really well highlighted too. I love how you've kept the softer lavender highlights for the tops of the arms. The buttons read, all in all, this is a wonderfully done piece. I really like the inclusion of the extra markings on the turtle's skin. That on the hands down here near the foots, you got a little bit up over the nose, like that is lovely. Absolutely lovely work. You should be very proud of this. Also, very well photographed. I love the simple backdrop. I love the little raised plinth that it's on. The background really falls out, and you can focus on the mini. I talk so much about photography and how difficult taking photographs of minis is. I would like to take a moment and recognize this is an example of some good mini photography where all you're really seeing is the model, and the backdrop just kind of fades into nothingness. Lovely. Lovely work, Runic Raccoon. Here we have from Gus Schultz. Finally got to the second to last piece for my Fallout project I shelved. Oh, naked mole rats. Need mole rats and a building corner piece. Got my rats. Smaller one is for the diorama, and the mama rat will be a painting exercise. These were 3D printed with a Mars 1. I hate them. They're just... I mean, you're gonna do a good job on them, particularly after that amazing work that you did with the Nurgle Knight. I'm sure that their skin will end up nauseating me as much as it always did in Fallout. Oh, they're so ugly. I hate the teeth. Ah. With the extra mutation, the extra long and extra sharp and horrid. Hopefully I'll start streaming again soon. Fuck yeah, Robin, do it. I want to see it. I want to see you paint. I want you to prove that you painted those models. I'm not even sure that I believe it. And tell Vanessa hi for me if you don't mind. Robin, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing with us, and you have a great night, man. I'm curious. I'm curious to see where it goes, Gus Schultz, but I'm not gonna... Oh, Runic! Oh, you did what I wanted you to do. I'll be very curious to see where the rest of this goes, Gus, but I want to see this close up. Oh my god. Okay. It only gets better the closer you go, and that is the sign of a good paint job. This NMM reads beautifully. damn. Really good work on the face, too. Like I said, that's the sign of a good paint job. When the closer you get, the more detail comes out. The texturing in the coat reads wonderfully. I think this was worth the time. The little subtle scratches in the leather of the belt. So I can't zoom in any closer right now, Runic Raccoon, in the stream. I can pull it up and... oh yeah, they do look good. They do look good. That is nicely done. I highly suggest you go ahead and post this to the this showcase if you haven't already, so other people can zoom in and get a look. I gotta take some time and rethink and reconfigure how we're doing the Storm Report so I can have a little bit more freedom in how I display the pictures and my ability to zoom in. That has been a weakness of the Storm Report for like the last year and a half, and it's something that I am committed to fixing, particularly with some of the last few Storm Report entries. We've gotten some shots from you and from others that are just like, you really want to zoom in and get those details, and it's a shame that I'm not able to do it live, so I am going to fix that. You have inspired me to make sure I get that done, Runic Raccoon. This is a gorgeous piece. This is a gorgeous piece. God damn. Wonderfully done. Oh, here we have from the Tobin Lord, another attack! Not sure why, but I had struggled with this one for a while. I really like the hair. This is particularly well done. I'm choking to death! I don't know why I'm dying like this. This is no way for a painter to go out. 10 subs and I won't choke to death. No, that's probably a TOS violation. I continue to like the way you do your proportions and your body shapes, Tobin Lord. It's just so, I hate to use the word plump, but there is always a plumpness to all of your figures. A stylized realism that moves away from the usual idealized artistry that a lot of people engage in, where people just get thinner and thinner to the point where they don't have internal organs. Everything is stylized. It's not photorealistic. Obviously, you have a very unique style, but it's also, I don't know, plausible? Stoutness. I like stoutness. Everybody's very stout. Really good expression here, too. All in all, wonderful, wonderful work, Tobin Lord. I always love seeing your work. And this whole notion of the artist battle is... There's a whole world out there that I'm not participating in. Stoutness. Yeah, I think we should use that. Here we have from Sumitha. In honor of the completed Prince of Metalcore Collectibles' newest miniature design, now soon-to-be isekai protagonists can begin their great journeys in alternate universes by being hit by trucks on any world. Also, just notice the license plate. Ascend, yeah, oh, okay. With the full fucking fist and everything. Hey you, look at me. Yeah, that's getting hit by a truck, alright. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, where did my window go? There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna rethink. I'm gonna rethink the mechanisms of the Storm Report. It won't be... I'll let you guys know with plenty of time to adapt, because I know we've all fallen into a pretty good rhythm of how this works. I'll come up with a new way for us to do it in such a way that on my end I can more freely zoom. Maybe I can just do it with my overlay and keep us here in the Discord. I think I probably can. I think if I use my overlay on my Stream Deck cleverly, I should be able to set this up so that I can pull up zoomed-in versions of all of this art, because more and more that has become necessary, and we have so many talented artists in this Discord. I feel like sometimes I'm really not giving your work the showcase that it deserves. Alright, but that will bring us to the end of the Storm Report, and the end of tonight's stream. Let's find out who we're raiding. As a quick announcement, you might have noticed a change to the schedule. We're not going to be doing Band of Brothers this Saturday. Had something come up. I'm not going to be here Saturday evening, so we're going to bump that forward. Next week, Saturday, is going to be the monthly movie night. So it'll probably be 2 weeks before we continue on with Band of Brothers episodes 5 and 6, which are going to be Crossroads and Battle of the Bulge, Baston. But we will have a small delay on that, and then we will continue with our Band of Brothers watch through. Let me go ahead and see who's doing what. Doomsday Vibes, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Storm Chasers. Let me go ahead and have a look at who's out there doing what tonight. Hootie Who's playing some Crash Bandicoot, Cephalopod Studios, Shady Nasties. Now, this is a painter that is working on some Sisters of Battle that I have not had a chance to raid yet, and I really, really like her channel. And she's fairly new, I think, both to miniature painting and to Twitch, so please, please, please make a good impression. And I know some of you are probably planning on turning in for the night, but as always, I do appreciate if you stick around for a few minutes and go with the raid. I always try to raid you into a channel I think you'll like, so go with the raid, check it out, see how the community is, see if you like their painting. Please consider dropping them a follow so that you can get notifications the next time they come up. And Shady Nasties is it's a reference to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's I mean, I'm a simple man. I see It's Always Sunny references, and I apparently just raid people. It makes me smile literally every time. Alright, but we will be back this Sunday, the 24th. We'll be doing some more painting. If we're not moving on to our Space Dwarves and their glowing hammers, we'll be finishing up our Lance of the Dragon that we have been working on. And then Tuesday, the 26th, I will be getting into some more Resident Evil 6 with Riot Sister. Please let me know if that works for you, Riot Sister. I think I might have forgotten to ask you. And then Thursday, the 28th, we'll be right back to painting, and we'll definitely be doing some Space Dwarfs or possibly some Space Cultists. I guess it just depends on what mood I'm in. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Thank you to everybody who posted to the Storm Report today. I always love seeing your work. As always, thank you to my amazing mods. Until next time, guys, keep on painting.